with my little mini series, which is all about building a back to work wardrobe for my back to work life. I go back to work in October. It is currently July 8th, and I'm just kind of getting started on my sewing journey here, and a couple people expressed interest in following along, so I figured I would document it. So kind of wanted to do a little bit of an intro if you're new here. I do have old videos, but some of them are not great, and they're mostly related to knitting content, so if that's not your jam, don't worry. We're going to talk about sewing a lot more in these videos coming up through this series. So anyways, if you're new here, welcome. My name is Sarah. I am 35. I live in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada with my husband, my daughter who is 15 months, and my 2 cats. So I have basically been off work since March of 2020, and a lot has happened since then. So that's an understatement. My last full day of work was kind of the last normal day before the pandemic hit. So my last 16 months has basically been me in either maternity clothes, post-maternity clothes, or lounge wear, because there really hasn't been anywhere to go for the last 16 months. So that means that when I go back to work, all of the clothes that I was wearing previously don't even come close to fitting me right now. So my whole intent with this series is to kind of show how I'm working about making a wardrobe. I kind of have alluded to it being a capsule wardrobe, and I don't really believe in capsule wardrobes. I've tried. I'm not a fan of the minimalist thing. I like patterns and I'm drawn to colors, but I don't wear them. So for me, building a wardrobe that I'm going to be wearing throughout the winter and fall, because I go back in October, I'm looking for clothes that will be comfortable, because I am still not used to wearing a bra and pants with structure. I want to be comfortable. I want to be stylish. So I want to look good because I work as admin. So I'm the first person that people see when they come into the building. So for me, first impressions are really important. And I also want stuff that's going to last and that I'm going to wear. I do have a problem sometimes of getting really excited on a project and then making something and then finding out that it doesn't really have a place in my wardrobe, or I'm not comfortable wearing it out in public. And that's kind of a problem when you make your own clothes, because it takes time, effort, and money, and you don't really want to throw that out. So my whole intention with this video series is to kind of show how I organize my thoughts, how I'm organizing my fabric, how I'm purchasing things to be mindful of what I like to wear, what I'm going to wear, and what would be appropriate for going back to work. So that's basically what this series is going to be about. It's going to be broken up into little video sections. It's going to be broken up into like chapters. So this first chapter that we're going to do is all about finding inspiration and organizing that inspiration and making a plan for it. So with that, you're going to be staring at a screen recording for most of it, because I'm just showing you what I'm doing on my computer. But let's get into it. First off, we're going to start talking about how I find inspiration and ideas for stuff that I want to make. And for that, we're going to head to Pinterest.
So I kind of wanted to go through a little bit of how I've been gaining inspiration for what I want my wardrobe to be like. I say that I want a capsule wardrobe, but in all honesty, I'm not doing any kind of color scheme or anything like that. I'm trying to keep things relatively, making a series set of pieces that I can wear a multiple of ways to make getting dressed in the morning easier, because I am not a morning person and I have not had to be a morning person since I left my job. So the first place that I wanted to start, sorry about that, is actually on Pinterest. And I do a lot of planning on Pinterest. Um, if you wanted to follow along with me on Pinterest, you can follow me. Yeah, I'm pretty much loose pages most places on the internet. So if you wanted to follow me on Pinterest, I'm here. So I categorize things that are interesting to me or that I want to reference later. And I have a whole little section here that I've kind of dedicated to style. So I have such fashion, and this is maternity, autumn, spring, summer, winter, and then just in general. So I think the first place that I'll start to just kind of draw from, because I go back to work in the fall, I'm going to look through my autumn board. So right away, I see a trend out of things that I've pinned. I tend to like oversized jackets and sweaters that just kind of hang. Lots of sweaters I like to layer, and lots of just straight kind of oversized coats. Um, I wish I was a hat person. Maybe I'll try and be a hat person this year. So if we go through my boards, you kind of see a different bunch of stuff, but there's one general thing. It's that I like grays, I like greens, I like that burnt orange pumpkin kind of color, that like ochre brown. So you can kind of see that some things I've liked enough to pin twice. So you can kind of see that I'm drawn towards a certain color scheme already. And I like oversized sweaters and skinny jeans and leggings and all that kind of stuff. So right away, what I'm going to do is scroll back up and start screenshotting some of the things that I like. So I like this. I'm just going to save it to my desktop. I really like this. There's lots of jumpers. I also kind of gravitate towards, and you'll see this more on my springboards, just that kind of somewhat masculine. I saw gamine goth earlier on my travels. So I kind of have that whole, some of them are actually patterns that you can sew. So I just went back into just my general fashion board. And right here, I actually saved a pair of Elizabeth Suzanne Clyde pants. Now I've made that pattern before, but it was too big. But I know that I want to add those to my next wardrobe. So basically what I'm going to do is just kind of go through, if I have a pattern in mind when I see something, just kind of take a screenshot and come back to it at the end of my searching. So once again, you can see the Clyde pants there. Lots of high-waisted stuff because that's how I rolled before I was a mom, but especially now that I'm a mom. I really like linen. And I'm kind of digging this whole oversized sleeve thing. So I'm going to pin that because that would go good with jeans and high-waisted pants. So basically, I'm just going to keep doing this. And when I come back, I will have a full desktop full of screenshots of clothes that I really like. The place that I find a lot of inspiration is Instagram. And I use it specifically to look through the hashtags to see what other people are making. So for example, I've already kind of searched a few things here, but I am planning on making Elizabeth Suzanne's Clyde work pants. So what I could do here is type in Clyde work pants, which comes up here, and search through the 246 other posts to see what they look like on other people, if there's people with my body size, if I see something that's kind of nice or that I like or that I'm particularly drawn to, I click through their project and see if they made any modifications, if there's any comments on the pattern, any of that kind of stuff. So here's one example. Another example that I know I want to make is the Burnside bibs. And there's a lot more projects on this one here. So here's some examples of other people's Burnside bibs that they've made. So I kind of just go through all the photos. If there's one that sticks out at me or one that I like more than others, I will click through. If I see someone with a similar body shape to mine, I'll click through just to get an idea of their experience with the fit. So that's kind of one of the things that I do regularly. And I was looking for the Callie shirt inspiration the other day. So it's just a good way to see what other people have made, what they've chosen for fabric, how it fits, any notes. Let's see if I can find the one that I was blown away with. Yeah, so going through hashtags on Instagram is a great way to get inspiration as well. And I've actually, let's see, I'm on my computer, so I don't know if I can actually see. But I've started saving things that I've liked on Instagram. So, for example, I'm really into the whole idea of like tunics over jeans and leggings. So, I plan on making a bunch of Wixton shift tunics. So, I'll actually save that one as well. I appreciate a dirty mirror selfie. It's kind of how I live my life with dirty mirrors. My child loves playing with mirrors. So, yeah, there's stuff in here that I've definitely liked and that I've taken inspiration from. Instagram's a great place to kind of look for stuff like that. If you want to follow me, a little bit of a plug. If you want to follow me, you can find me there on Instagram as Loose Pages. And yeah, so Instagram's a great place. Pinterest is a great place. And those are kind of my go-tos when it comes to planning outfits. Through our inspiration boards, we've saved some photos that we liked. Now, what's the next step? So this one, I will admit, this next step is a little new for me. I usually just start things without a plan and go through a bunch of crap to get to the final object. This is kind of new for me because I am looking to organize my thoughts a little bit better and come out swinging instead of just stumbling. So Milanote is something that I was seeing used a lot in vlogs that I watch on YouTube. Different people have been using Milanote for doing room renovations as mood boards for different projects, and I kind of thought I would give it a try. So this is my very first mood board ever, and it's not that great, but I just put some of the images that I found in here so that I could kind of see them in one spot. And it was super easy. All I had to do was drag and drop. So some of the pictures that I took away was that green, kind of like relaxed. I don't want to call it a cardigan because it has a jacket structure, but kind of like a throw-on jacket. Um, these are colors that I want to bring in besides the neutrals that I've already got. I like shirt dresses, so this is the Cali shirt dress from Closet Core Patterns. Once again, the ES Made by Me Clyde pants. This is actually a Wixton top that was put together with a gathered skirt that I really liked, and I like the pattern as well. It kind of brings in this color. This is the peppermint pocket skirt, and I really love that skirt. I would like to make another one just to wear with shirts. This is that loose linen shirt with the sleeves that I liked. And this actually is the Paddington top, which is a free pattern from Peppermint Magazine. I was thinking I could make something very similar to this. It wouldn't have the buttons down the front because God knows I don't want to do buttons, but I can lengthen the sleeves a little bit and not put the elastic in, and it would look very similar to that. Or I could do the placket on the front because I think it comes with a button placket on the back. So that's another option. This is the Cali shirt dress, and I really like Erin Charter. I follow her on Instagram, and she's very in tune with what I want my style to be. So this is hers. She evened out the high-low hem on the bottom here, which is something that I'm considering doing, but I don't know if I'm going to actually do it. These are the free range slacks. They're my favorite. I made one pair and wore through them. The thigh chafing is real, so I blew the thighs out. I think I'm going to try and fix them though. But I do want to make another pair of free range slacks. And these are actually the Greta dungarees. But I have the Burnside bibs pattern and I want to make a pair of little like linen overalls like this. So I really like this look. And with the green jacket, I was kind of thinking it would go very well with the style of the Wixton unfolding jacket, which unfortunately is no longer available due to cultural appropriation and all that kind of stuff. So it's been renamed the unfolding jacket, and I luckily have the pattern still so I can make that. And that's kind of my mood board. So this is new for me, the visual part, because typically what I usually do to organize myself is use a website called Trello. So there's a thing called Kanban boards. I don't know if that's actually the right pronunciation, but the idea is that you have a backlog. So this is where all your ideas go. anything that you think of. And the reason it's a backlog is because there is something prohibiting you from doing it. Either you have to buy a new mug, or make a new plant, or do a new lanyard, or whatever, and it only gets moved over to the to do. So the way that I've been doing it is I kind of have like the capsule wardrobe idea, um, with all the things that I want to make. I'll move this here because I'm not making it, or this one. So all the patterns that I want to make, I'm going to put here. My backlog of ideas, the new mug, new plant, new lanyard thing is just to give me some emotional strength. If I'm going to be at work, at least I'll have something pretty around me to kind of motivate me to be there. This makes me sound like I hate my job. I don't hate my job. I'm just really anxious about going back to work after 18 months. So these are my to do, doing, and done. So I move stuff here when I know the size and view or whatever that I'm doing. So I know that I'm making the Clyde pants in a size 16 in black, and I've broken it down into 3 steps. So I need to trace out the pattern, I need to cut out the fabric, and then I need to sew. So this kind of breaks down steps into easier, more manageable ways for me to do it, mostly because I have ADHD, and any kind of planning has to have multiple steps so that I can break it down and not get overwhelmed. So I also know I'm going to make the Cali shirt dress, view C, which is the dress, in a size 16. So those are both here. Once I start doing it, I can easily move it over and put it in different places. But for right now, it's still in my to-do because I have not done it. So this is typically how I will break down my tasks. And I'll show you that I have tried doing other things here. So my to-do, some of these line up with what I've already been working on or have fabric for, just for normal. And then all the things that I've done here, I put in my done file. So yeah, this is the idea board, this is the planning board, this is the action board, this is the celebratory board. So I really like Trello. My husband got me into it a few years ago, and I've been using it for a lot of things, especially long-term lists. I like keeping long-term lists, like gift ideas for people. This might be a little, yeah, so I have my backlog here, the to-dos, and all my dones. So it's nice to see the list of all you've done as well as the things you need to do. It's kind of balancing. Another thing that I have been using, and this is called Numbers. So it's basically like the Mac version of Excel. So I've been using this a little bit more often to keep track of my fabric, which is new, which is why I only have this much, and I kind of gave up measuring after a certain point. I keep project notes for the things, well, I try to. If I make something, I don't really keep a good log of what size I made or how it fit. So I've been trying to do that a little bit more. The type of fabric I'm making, the notes for it, and then what I want to do next time. So this is a little bit neglected, but I'm really trying to keep notes so I know what size I'm making so that I can be better informed next time. I've also started keeping track of my measurements just so I have a handy place where I don't have to measure myself. So I'll do it once a month, and that would kind of give me enough room, like logically, physically, and mentally, just to kind of know what my measurements are without having to pull out a measuring tape all the time. So these here are my sewing plans, and these are all fabrics that I've already purchased. We'll talk about fabric pairing in another video. I just kind of want to go through the initial planning stage. So I bought this fabric. I have 2.5 meters of it. I know that I want to do a Wixton shift tunic. I don't know what size I want to make, and I'm kind of waiting a little bit longer to fill in these sizes because for some reason I've been dropping inches. I don't know if it's just the stress of the pandemic is leaving my body and I'm not holding on to the baby weight that I gained anymore. But I'm kind of leaving this till the last minute to kind of figure out sizes. So I bought this fabric for a tunic. I bought this fabric and I know that I'm going to make a box top out of it. I bought this fabric and I know I want another tunic because part of my wardrobe is just tunics and leggings all the time. I have no idea what I want to make with this one yet. This is going to be for my Burnside bibs. Once again, I'm leaving the sizes because I don't know. I have black linen for my Clyde pants, and those are going to be in a 16, so I kind of know. And then this is the fabric for my shirt dress. So I've been putting seasons in here as well, kind of getting an idea of the style of stuff. So maybe things with long sleeves, maybe things that are only appropriate in the winter, and then also keeping things all season as well so that they have more longevity just beyond the fall and winter. So that's kind of how I've been organizing my thoughts here. Once again, measurements, project notes, my fabric stash, which is a long-term project. I should have kept the quantities measured when I was doing all my fabric folding, but I didn't because I was lazy and now I regret it. And then here is kind of my sewing plan. So once something has a fabric and a pattern attached to it, kind of goes in here with the exception of this, but I bought this fabric at the same time, so that's why it's here. So that's basically how I'm organizing my thoughts. I don't have, if we go back here, I don't really have all of my set pieces figured out yet. And that's kind of intentional because committing to things before I'm really sure kind of gives me anxiety. So I know that I want these things. So that's why they're there. But I know that I need other pieces in my wardrobe to flush it out and make sure that it's well rounded, and that will come later for me. So basically, right now, I have a bunch of shirts. I need some pants, so that's why I'm making 2 pairs of pants. And then some new things to wear with leggings that hopefully will also work for me when I maybe get pregnant again, because that is a possibility in the next year that I will have another baby. So trying to keep things like the tunic I could wear probably till my second trimester is finished, that kind of stuff. So I'm trying to look long term and be intentional about what I'm making, because I don't want to make something just because I'm excited about it and then not have it have a place in my wardrobe or be kind of what I'm thinking my style is going to be. I'm kind of looking at going back to work as a way to reinvent myself. So that comes with, being intentional about what I'm putting on my body, doing my hair again, all of that kind of stuff that I've neglected doing over my maternity leave and the global pandemic that happened to coincide with it. So that's kind of how I'm organizing my thoughts. There's different ways to do it. You do you. Whatever works for you is perfect. All of these kind of work for me in one way or another. I kind of scatter myself all over the place and do just a general mishmash of things to get myself ready for stuff. So that's kind of the way I'm organizing this. If you have any questions or you have any tips or you have ways that work for you, I'd love to hear about your methods in the comments if you want to leave that. But this is kind of what works for me. Going here, moving those pictures, and then cementing them into here or into my numbers. That's just kind of how I'm rolling right now. So yeah, I just thought I would show you that.
Hopefully that was interesting to you and not too boring. It was a lot of screen recordings because a lot of my planning happens on the computer. I tried to be a paper and pen person. I have notebooks full of half-written ideas, but for me, the Notes app on my phone or my computer is basically where I do most of my planning and organization. So hopefully you got something out of that. In the next video, I will try to have a list of all the set pieces that I do need to make over the next 3 months. And we will start pairing fabric or shopping for fabric and going through what to look for when you're trying to pair fabric to your patterns. So thanks for watching. If you want to follow along on Instagram, where I'll be posting stories and all that kind of stuff kind of corresponding to this as well, you can follow me at Loose Pages, and see you in the next video. Thanks.